Hi folks, welcome back to the shop here at Project Pine Hills. Today we're talking about this ThruNite Defender 3-in-1 flashlight. You can see it's a flat flashlight, not unlike the Olight Arkfeld. Now you can see it has a magnetic tail cap, which means you can rotate this 360 degrees. You'll notice here when you look at this tail cap that it's beveled here on the edges, and it doesn't hold quite as well in this position because of that. You know, it can roll down more so than other flashlights. And also notice in this position, it doesn't hold quite as well either. You'll see the flashlight will want to fall. Now, if I turn this around where the switch is down and I rotate this flashlight, it'll still hold. So it will hold in that position at 90 degrees. So you see this ThruNite Defender flashlight has a rotary type switch and it has 4 positions. It has a lockout position here, a flashlight position, a laser, and then a UV light. And you can see it has a charge indicator right here at the top with those green LEDs. Now notice this light is similar to the very popular Olight Arkfeld Pro. You can see they're about the same height here. There's a little bit of difference in the width of the flashlights. One thing I noticed right off the bat was the switches, right? So when operating this ThruNite flashlight, your thumb covers up the different selector positions. You can't see them. Whereas when you look at this Olight, you can see all the positions very clearly at the top of the flashlight, right? So if I put this on UV, you can clearly tell it's on the UV mode, and the laser and the flashlight, even though I have my thumb here in this position. That's something I noticed right away with these 2 lights. Plus, the markings on the Olight are much larger and bolder. They're much easier to see than these smaller markings that are on the ThruNite flashlight. The Olight also has a charge indicator status here and green LED lights that light up and go down, but they're on the opposite side. So they've switched these 2 locations on the ThruNite. See, the ThruNite has put their battery indicator on the opposite end of the flashlight than the Olight. So this flashlight is 3 lights in 1, right? It's in the lockout position right now, which is nice. We switch it over here. We have the flashlight setting, right? And it's got low, medium, and high on that. We switch it over to that next setting. We get a green laser. It's a class 3 green laser. You can see that there, right there on the bag is that green laser. And if we switch to that 4th position all the way to the right, it's on the UV mode. And so now we get a UV light out of the flashlight. So that's the 3 flashlights in 1. If you look at the back, it has a clip on it. And one thing I noticed about this clip right away was that it doesn't have quite enough spring in it to keep it from clicking. So if I tap this, you can hear it's got a little bit of a gap there, so it needs a little more spring on that clip. Now if we compare the clips of these 2 flashlights, you can see the Olight has a deep carry clip. See how it curves back right here all the way to the end of the flashlight. The ThruNite stops here, so it's not going to carry as deep in your pocket, right? So if you put this Olight in your pocket, it's going to go all the way down right into that clip, whereas the ThruNite's going to stop here, and this is going to stand proud in your pocket. Now they do both have a reversible pocket clip. You can see right here this tab where you could insert this pocket clip the other way. Olight, of course, is the same way. Both have lines on the side. There's angles on the Olight. The ThruNite's got these straight lines, but the Olight has a better clip. You can see right here it's recessed in the back. It tapers right here. So it's going to go into a pocket or into a pouch or anything easier than the ThruNite will right here. If you look at the lens on the front of these flashlights, you can see they have the laser in the same position. That's its round dot here in the center. But the flashlight and the UV light are on the opposite side of each flashlight. Otherwise, they're very similar. The ThruNite has an orange peel reflector in there, and I think this is smooth reflector in the Olight, as best I can tell. You can see the Arkfeld is just a tad longer than the ThruNite. Now, if we put the front of these flashlights together, you can see that the ThruNite's just a little bit wider than the Olight. Of course, on this ThruNite, it has USB Type-C charging. So we just peel down this port, and you can see there it has a USB-C type connector. So you can just plug in your USB-C charger. And you can see when it's charging, these green LEDs flash on the front that show the charge level while it's charging. Now, another flashlight I really like in these 3-in-1 flashlights is this Workhorse flashlight. And why do I like this? Because it's a little bit smaller, but more importantly, it's got these 2 separate switches. So the switch on the front of this flashlight is for the green laser, and the switch in the back is for the flashlight. So you have dedicated buttons for both the flashlight and the laser, and I really like that. You have that one dedicated button for a green laser, one dedicated button for the flashlight, and I also really like the fact that you can tap that green laser button, get a right-angle flashlight, you can connect this magnetically, and now you have a light that's shining as a work light directly down. So I really like that on the Workhorse. Now Klein Tools has a new light out too that has a 2-button UI, except they put the buttons side by side in line with the lights on the front. And Klein's also put, similar to this Workhorse, they put a right angle light on the side of their light, except it's on this side of the flashlight. The very first LED flashlight I ever bought was probably about 6 years ago, and it was this ThruNite flashlight, the TC15. And I really liked the fact that this light was relatively inexpensive. It outputted 2,000 lumens on turbo, and it had micro USB charging. So this flashlight's worked out really well for me. Now let's check out the different light modes on this ThruNite flashlight. If I just tap and hold this button, you'll see it comes on with a very low output mode. They call that a firefly mode, so that's for not disturbing people while you're camping, trying to preserve your night vision. And if you hold this button down after that, it will go to low, medium, and then high. And if I double tap the button, it goes to turbo. Another thing I noticed about this light is, let's say I turn to the green laser and I double tap this flashlight, it goes into turbo. If you go to UV light and you double tap, it goes into turbo. So it'll turn the flashlight on no matter what. The Olight doesn't work like that. If I have this one on, say, the UV light and I double tap, it doesn't do anything. It just turns on the UV light. Now, one difference is the ThruNite Defender 3-in-1 claims to output 1600 lumens on turbo, and the Olight Arkfeld Pro claims to output 1300 lumens on turbo. Now, another difference between these two lights is you can see the ThruNite has a dedicated lockout position right there on the rotary switch. And what that means is you can't turn this flashlight on once it's in that position. It's to keep you from accidentally turning the flashlight on. We don't have that on the rotary switch of the Olight. With the Olight, you hold the flashlight button down, the flashlight comes on, then it goes off, and now it's in lockout mode. And you'll see if I tap this button, you get a single red light here that means it's in lockout. To take it out of lockout mode, we hold the button down, light comes back on moonlight mode, and now the flashlight's working. Now the ThruNite comes in this box. This is the cool white option. They also have a neutral white option of this flashlight. If we look inside, you'll see it comes with a charging cable. You can see it's USB-A to USB Type-C. In terms of the fit and finish of these two lights, I think this Olight Arkfeld Pro has a better fit and finish to it. But this ThruNite Defender 3-in-1 is a great option if you want USB-C type charging and if you're looking for an alternative to the Olight. So there you have it, folks. Just a quick look at the ThruNite Defender 3-in-1 flashlight. I'll have a link in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think of this flashlight. Whether or not you like the Arkfeld better, or maybe even this Workhorse. I'd be interested in hearing your feedback. And please remember to like and subscribe. All those actions help me to continue to bring content to you here on the Project Pine Hills channel. And with that said, check out this next video.